And the way to do this is to look at the job description. Look at it, and if you feel like you can do the job, you're looking at it line by line, and you feel like you can do it, then that's when your gut is telling you you can do it. The other day, I had a coaching call with someone who wants to break into the accounting industry. They have a degree in accounting, but for the last 6 or 7 years, they've been working in the food industry as a server. So if you look at the resume, you'll find education in accounting, but then you'll find most 99% of the experience is working in the food industry. So they have no relevant experience in the accounting field or the finance field in general. But while I'm talking to them, I discovered that they had a side hustle for many years selling stuff online on eBay, namely sneakers, high-end sneakers, right? So I was wondering why this is not on the resume. So my idea is that if you want to work in accounting and you have no relevant experience at all, you should look into your background and find things that you've done on the side, maybe working in your dad's business, working on a side hustle, things that relate to finance, business, selling in general, things that are business oriented, and have that the point of, over the focal point of your resume, or maybe speak about it in an interview more. So today I wanted to talk about the idea of getting hired in finance with little or no experience. And we'll talk about that in the lens of 4 mistakes. These are 4 mistakes that I've seen people do that hurt them in the process of getting an entry-level position working in accounting or finance. And I'm speaking here from my perspective as someone who worked as a controller for the last 18 years in New York City. I've sat across the table from hundreds of accountants, interviewing them for accounting positions, probably hired tens of accountants overall. And so this qualifies me to speak about the subject. What are the things that I want to hear? What are the things that I want to see from you? If you're an entry-level position person, what kind of things should we talk about in the interview and on your resume? So let's talk about that. One of the first mistakes that I see people do when they're applying or trying to get an entry-level position is that they think that they cannot apply. I cannot apply for this position because it requires 1 to 2 years of experience. And LinkedIn actually did a study on this, so I'm going to flash this study on the screen now. LinkedIn did a study on the job postings and found that entry-level positions, 35% of them, 35% of entry-level positions that are posted on their website required 1 to 2 years of experience, which is crazy because it's a chicken and egg, right? So how are you going to get the experience if the position that is entry-level requires experience, right? It doesn't make any sense. This number, 35%, is even higher when we talk about finance. When we're talking about finance, that same study found that 43% of entry-level roles requires 1 to 2 years of experience. Makes no sense. Okay, so where do I fall on this? My idea is that if you find a job posting, you look at the job description, right? And if you find that you meet 80% of the requirements that are listed on the job description, then you go ahead and apply, even if you don't have the relevant experience, right? Because a lot of the times, the hiring manager, what they do is they list all of these things in the job description, and all of these things are a wish list. These are the things they wish they can have in this person, right? However, when they meet with them and they find that they meet about 80% of the things that they're looking for, so maybe they have the right degree, they have a good attitude, they have some coursework and projects in school that meet the requirement, then they're able to hire them even though they don't have the experience. So the first mistake that I see is I cannot apply. You should always apply when you're meeting 80%. And the way to do this is to look at the job description. Look at it, and if you feel like you can do the job, you're looking at it line by line, and you feel like you can do it, then that's when your gut is telling you you can do it, right? So you go ahead and apply if you meet about 80%. There was a study or an article by news.com on this subject, and the researcher in this case spoke to professionals in the HR industry, headhunters, and found that 80% is what makes the cut. If you meet about 80% of the job requirements of the job description, go ahead and apply for that position. So that's my first mistake here. So if you feel that you cannot apply, that's probably not true, and you should go ahead and apply anyway. The second mistake that I've seen people do is that they think that I should wait till after I finish my undergraduate school, right? So you should wait till you get your bachelor's degree to get your experience. And that's not true at all. So in my case, when I was going through my 3rd year of college, I was studying accounting. I went ahead and I went to the career center in my school, and I flipped through the positions that were being advertised in school, and I found one in audit So my target was to work in audit in Big Four at the time, and I did end up working at PwC. But I worked for an auditing firm that wasn't doing financial audits like in a conventional sense. What they were doing at the time were an audit of the benefits of union workers. So that was not the same at all as what I was looking for. But at the same time, it gave me that professional experience, the initial experience that I needed. So when I went and applied at Big Four, then I can show that I had some experience, right? So that's the second mistake that I've seen people do, is waiting until after they finish their undergraduate school to start their experience. So go ahead and try to start your experience before you finish your college, so you have something under your belt when you go ahead and apply for a role. The third mistake that I've seen people do is that the experience must be at a company, right? So the experience that you get and that initially allows you to apply for an entry-level position doesn't need to be at a company. It could be at anything. It could be your dad's business. So maybe your dad has a business that you're helping him balance the books, right? Or enter receipts, do some things on the side, right? So this is your family's business. Or maybe like the example we talked about at the beginning of the video, where this person was running a side hustle selling sneakers on eBay, right? So the experience that you get doesn't have to be at a company. It could be volunteering. If you maybe volunteer at a local organization doing any kind of work, right? The work doesn't have to be finance related. It could be any work at all. Because when I look at what you did, and maybe you did some organization or admin work, right? Being organized is important. So if you're someone who did some work that shows that you're organized, that's going to count a lot. So third mistake is waiting until you work for a company. You could do your experience anywhere. You could do it yourself. You could work at a family business. You could also volunteer at a local organization. The fourth mistake that I've seen people do is they go directly for a master's in accounting, right? So they finish their undergrad degree and they immediately go for a master's degree right away without getting some work experience first. See, sometimes this is okay if you secure the job. So let's say you graduate, you secure a job, and then you study for your master's, because maybe that's the way that you're going to get your CPA license, which is fine. However, what I've seen people do as a mistake is that they put the job, getting a job, on hold, just wait, and just continue to study for a master's degree. So in the eyes of an employer, your professional work experience is going to matter more than a master's degree. I care more about your work experience more than a master's degree. So don't jump into a master's degree right away without securing a job first. I prefer that you do it side by side so that you're not sacrificing the time that you could be doing work experience that's gonna propel your career overall. That's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you benefited from it, go ahead and share it with someone who you think will benefit from it as well, and I'll see you in the next video.